Oh, it's a good day, Robbie.
Oh my lord, that's the spot, mommy. Less tongue, more fists. So, The Flash, with a high 98% audience score. I said this before, I'll say it again. This movie is going to open up more than $100 million. There's no way on God's green earth that this movie opens less than that. If it does, then it just goes to show how the DCEU brand was totally, utterly destroyed. Like, Man of Steel, I love Man of Steel, but it was very divisive. BVS was the one that really killed the brand. And then every other film that came after BVS just down the toilet. But I think this movie, because of the high audience score and because of the repeat viewings that people are going to see this movie again and again and again, it's going to have very, very strong legs. And I think this movie is going to possibly open up to $1 billion worldwide, because in China, it's doing very well. The ticket sales are going through the roof. So I think China is going to do most of the heavy lifting. But again, I'd say that, but I really do think this movie is so good and that people are having such a fun time watching it that that China will, not only be the only country to do the heavy lifting. I think all around the world wide, I think it's going to do very well. So we'll see.
You're killing me, SpongeBob. You really are.
I think this was the most fun I had playing this part. It wasn't, it wasn't a lot of work. It was really a cameo, and I didn't expect or anticipate to do this, but I loved Andy and I really was excited, and I had such a great experience with Ezra. I really was thrilled to come back and do it, and I don't want to give it away, but I loved the little idea that was that I got to do, and I felt like I finally sort of figured out what I really kind of hooked into about this part, and I really enjoyed it. Had a wonderful time, and I love the movie, and it's really fun, and it has a really good spirit of kind of balance, which is the tone is a difficult thing with these movies, like trying to figure out how serious, how dark, how funny, how engaging it is, and people that have done it really well have really struck a balance with that tone, and I feel like Andy really did that with this movie, and so it's a lot of fun. I really had a great time, and it was over too soon. Yeah, it was kind of built over these movies as a nice sort of, semi sort of mentorship. This is a young person who's sort of looking for, guidance, isn't sure about, he's got a lot of responsibility with these powers. It's kind of a theme that these movies tend to play with, is like, what is the responsibility that you have when you've been...
Is it weird that every time I hear Ben Affleck talk about Batman, I get a huge erection? Of course not. It's Batman, Batfleck, the Batgoat. And listen, I find it hilarious how Ben Affleck keeps saying, this was the first film that I really understood the character of Batman, and I was only in it for less than 2 minutes, but I really found the character, and I feel so gratified that I played Batman. I'm just like, bro, you were in Batman v Superman as Zack Snyder's Justice League. You were in that movie for 4 hours. 4 hours. You're in this movie for what? Less than 10 minutes, and this is the role that you finally got and understood Batman? Come on, bro. I mean, talk about throwing shade at Zack Snyder. Good Lord. I don't think he's intentionally throwing shade at Zack Snyder, but he kind of is. Because it's like, damn, like, how long have you worked with Zack Snyder on playing the character of Batman? But this movie, the movie that you're in for 5 minutes, no, this is the movie that I finally understood Batman. Okay, whatever. But listen, I love Ben Affleck, and I do think that Ben Affleck will not play Batman anymore, but I do think that Ben Affleck will work under James Gunn for a DC film eventually, because like I said, Ben Affleck is a talented director, but his movies that he's directed hasn't been lighting up the box office in terms of money. Critical, yes. Money, not so much. But if he directs a DC film under James Gunn, I think he'll do it. Sign the contract, Ben. Do it.
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
Be honest, you will be.
Yeah.
Do you feel the most pressure with Superman?
I did up until I finished the script. Now it's fun.
You love the script.
I love the script, and people love the script. And so, like, I feel great about the script, right? I felt a shitload of pressure at the beginning.
Like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Do you go through those phases?
Why am I doing this? Definitely. But I think that it was, you know, people know I was offered Superman years ago. I said no because I didn't know quite how to tackle it. And I think that, you know, but because of that, I kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. How could I create a Superman that's true to the character of Superman, that absolutely loves the character of Superman, and yet is a take on Superman that's different enough that it's worth, you know, making a big budget movie about it. That it's worth people seeing it, that it won't be boring, you know, all of those things. So now I feel good about it. So now it's fun. Now,
man, everything I hear from James Gunn about Superman, I get more and more excited. Talk about a man who understands the assignment. I just love the way he talks about Superman. He understands the character. He knows what the audience wants. He knows what the audience wants to see. He knows that he has to make a Superman film that's different enough, but true to the essence of who Superman is as a character and film-wise. And this is exactly what I was talking about. People were like, "Well, James Gunn is just going to do Richard Donner all over again, and it's going to be boring." And here's James Gunn says, "No, I need to make a Superman film that's not boring, that engages with the audience and gets them excited and makes them love Superman again." I absolutely love his comments, and dude, I can't wait. He also talks about the aesthetic for Metropolis and how it's going to be very, very different from what you've seen before. Oh man, I hope his Metropolis looks a lot like the DC animated Superman animated series Metropolis. That very techie, futuristic, bright vision of Metropolis. I love that look for Superman, and I hope that's the look that he goes with. But that's gonna be it. Hit like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, your sisters, ass cheeks, all that good shit, and let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? So much news. Flash, Superman, a possible return from Batfleck behind the camera. But like I said, you never know with Batfleck. Love you all. Stay safe. Mwah. Big kiss.
Love you. Bye.
Love ya.